Hey guys, I hope you have had a fun first day of learning at home. If you did not get to anything in your packet, I literally do not want you to worry about that at all. Honestly, it was such a pretty day outside. I hope that you got to go outside and enjoy it and spend some time in the sun and just take some time to relax with your family. When you do get to day one of the packet, this video is going to be what you're going to want to check to get some additional help on those assignments that you were given. So I'm going to kind of work through the lesson plan and go through each paper, show you how I would have worked it, just like we usually do in class. And at the end of it, I will also post some pictures of what the finished assignments look like so that you have an answer key, but I want you to make sure that you've tried them on your own first, or that if you need some help, you watch up until the point where you've gotten the help you need and then you pause it and you give yourself a minute to go through and kind of do it on your own before you let me tell you all the answers. So we're going to start with reading first. It says read 30 minutes. You can read to yourself, to someone else, to a stuffed animal, etc. Your next assignment was Daily Reading Ready, week 2, Monday. And this one says say cheese. So just like always, we're going to make sure that we put our first and last name on our paper. I'm sure some of you even went ahead and put your number at the top, just like we always do. And we're going to go ahead and do our high five reading strategies on this one. So the first thing that we always do in our high five is underline the title. Our title here is Say Cheese. So I want to make sure I'm not just underlining it, but I'm also thinking about it as I underline it. Now, usually when I hear someone say cheese, as being a photographer, we always think of someone taking a picture like that. So that's what it made me think of. Don't know if that's what it's about. Haven't read it yet. But that's okay. I just make a little doodle if I think of something that, pops into my head when I read something. Our next step is to scan the text. Good job. Hopefully you said that. We've got our bulleted list right here. And remember those bullets, they always just list some important things that the author wants you to notice. On this side, I see that we have a photo. And at the bottom, what always tells us what's going on in the photo is called a caption. So we've got a photo of a little kid. It's kind of hard to see what he's doing from the copy of the photo, but it says in the caption, Zach flosses his teeth every day. So I can tell right here, oh, okay, so there's probably a piece of floss here that I can't see. We've got our paragraph numbers, so we have 2 paragraphs. I don't really see anything else that I would need to look at when I'm just scanning through the text because I'm not really reading yet when I'm doing that step. And then on my next step of the high five strategies is to preview the questions. So it says the author wrote this selection mainly to, and we know when we hear those words, we need to think, oh, this is an author's purpose question. So we need to ask ourselves why. When I'm pausing like that, when I'm talking, picture it just like whenever we're in class and I pause for you to tell me an answer for something. That's the only reason I'm stopping there, is just so that it feels just like you would be talking to me in class. As close as we can get to it. In this one, it says, which text feature would best help the reader find information about the problems that people could experience if they don't take care of their teeth? So I know that when I answer this one, I'm going to have to look back and double check in the passage because I need to know for sure where they found that answer from. So I'll give you a minute to make sure you have all that copied down. And if at any point I go too fast, you can always just pause the video and wait until you're caught up and then go ahead and hit play. So my 4th step with our high five reading strategies is to go through and read the passage. It says, if you don't practice good oral hygiene, if I don't know what that word hygiene is, I wonder where I could look to figure that out. Probably a dictionary. So let's see, if you don't have a dictionary at home, one thing that you can do, if you do have access to the internet, is you can get on Google and you can put define and then type that word in, hygiene. Now, some of you may already know what that means, but if you don't, the first thing that will come up is going to be, I don't know if y'all can see that, The first thing that's going to come up is going to be a definition. It says conditions or practices conducive to maintaining health and preventing disease, especially through cleanliness. Now that's a lot of big words. If that doesn't help, look, it comes up with some pictures right here for me to look at. So when I think of hygiene, it's not just washing my hands, but that is what it's showing a lot of. Oh, look, here's some bathroom items. So personal hygiene is going to be keeping yourself clean. Now, if it says oral hygiene, oral means your mouth. So if you have good oral hygiene, you're keeping your mouth clean. So it said, if you don't practice good oral hygiene, these words may scare you one day. And it's talking about these words. If someone were to tell you, say cheese, and you didn't have good oral hygiene, think about how scary that could be. Maybe for you, maybe also for the person taking the picture. If you don't have good oral hygiene, think about what would happen to your teeth. You wouldn't want to show off those nasty teeth in a photo. It said your teeth may be so rotten and ugly that you hide from the camera. If you don't take care of your teeth, you could get cavities, holes in your teeth. That can be painful. So cavities right here means holes in your teeth. So when I read that the first time, I read it like it was commas in a series, but that's not really what it is. So I'm going to go back and reread it. It says you could get cavities, or you need to think that word or there, like our comma or. Get cavities or holes in your teeth. That can be painful. So it's saying cavities are holes in your teeth, and those can be painful. Develop plaque, a nasty cavity-causing bacteria. So this time, instead of doing a comma or, they did a colon right here. So that just tells me, hey, whatever this is, this next part is going to go with it. So that's telling me what that word plaque means. Get gingivitis. Oh, look, it's doing it again. So we've got another colon right here. A gum disease that causes bleeding, swollen, and red gums. Lose your permanent. Ooh, look, there's that comma or. So permanent means adult set of teeth. Now, permanent doesn't always mean adult. Like I wouldn't say, I'm going to use a permanent marker on my paper. I'm not going to use an adult marker. Permanent just means it's there to stay. When you get your adult set of teeth, those teeth are there to stay. They're not going anywhere, hopefully, unless something happens to them. So those are all of the things that could happen if you don't take care of your teeth. It says, don't let this happen to you. So it looks like they might be about to tell me how I can keep that from happening to me. So this might be like my solution part of my story. Take care of your teeth and gums by brushing and flossing regularly. So brushing, flossing, those are important. Also, don't forget to see your dentist twice a year for cleanings and checkups. That way, saying cheese for the camera won't be embarrassing. So now we're going to go to our questions. This is our last step of our high five. So basically the point of this section, remember, is to go through and think about the notes that we wrote here and also look back and compare it to the notes that we wrote within our story. Remember how I said that little analogy about how whenever I like to go eat shrimp, I hate having to peel a shrimp and then eat it and then peel a shrimp and then eat it because it's so annoying to have to go through and work and eat and work and eat. I'd rather just get all my work done. That way I can just enjoy my shrimp at the end. Remember, that's what we're doing when we show all this work up here. We're peeling all of our shrimp so that we can just eat it down here. What that means is we're showing all of our work first. That way when we get to the questions, it's super, super easy. So, said the author wrote this selection mainly to, so if I'm thinking, okay, author's purpose. If I were the author, why would I have written this selection? Why would I want to have all of this information in here? How am I helping a reader? Okay. Provide readers with tips for taking care of their teeth. Maybe. I mean, they did do that. Suggest that people really shouldn't brush too often. I didn't really hear anything in that story that told me that that would have been a problem, brushing too often. Persuade people to take care of their teeth. Okay, well, hearing about all of that nasty stuff definitely made me want to take care of my teeth. Inform the reader about types of dental procedures. So a procedure is something that you do. Like when we write a procedural text, it means it's telling you how to do something. It didn't tell me about all the different things that your dentist is doing to you, like a root canal or pulling a tooth or filling a cavity or cleaning your teeth. I didn't hear about all sorts of those things. All I heard about was cleanings and checkups, but that's just saying don't forget to go to the dentist. So I don't think that's going to be it. So I've got it narrowed down to 2 of them. Provide readers with tips for taking care of their teeth. Persuade people to take care of their teeth. So if I've got it narrowed down to these 2, I need to think about the whole selection. Did the whole selection give me tips for taking care of my teeth? Well, no, because a really big chunk of it was telling me about what would happen if I didn't take care of my teeth. So I don't think that that's actually the best answer. When I think of it with the whole story was persuading me to take care of my teeth. Remember, if you're persuading someone of something, you are trying to convince them of something. You're trying to change their mind about something or make them believe the same way that you do, or to talk them into doing or thinking something. So in this case, they were hoping that by telling you all these terrible things that could happen if you didn't do that, it would convince you to take care of your teeth better. Now, if I look at number 2, it says, which text feature would best help the reader find information about the problems people could experience if they don't take care of their teeth? Remember that a text feature is something other than normal text, it's more than just the normal words that are written in the story. So all these are not text features. Your text features, remember, are like your title, or your bulleted list, or your photo, or your caption, or if they have any bold words or underlined words, or if they have any subheadings or anything like that. That's going to be your text features. So we need to look at those and see which one would give me information about problems people could experience. Well, if I look back in this story, let's think back to all those big problems that they talked about. They talked about those right here in this bulleted list. You could have cavities, plaque, gingivitis, you could lose your permanent teeth. And I wrote lists out beside here. Remember, we did that work earlier, so it's less work for you now. The photograph is telling me about flossing. Flossing isn't a problem. The caption under the photograph, again, is about flossing. It's not a problem. The title, say cheese, the word say cheese, that has nothing to do with the problem at all. The only one that talks about any bad stuff is the bulleted list. Now, the last part of your daily reading ready for today. It says the suffix ly means like or every. And actually, this little hyphen here should go on this side, because that means that's where you're connecting it to the rest of the word. It means like or every. List 2 words that end with the prefix ly and define them. For example, regularly, like it is regular. If you look in there, you can see your root word or your base word, and then you can also see that they just simply added that suffix. So that's your challenge, is to go through and you need to think about what words you can do like that. So if you haven't done that part yet, go ahead and pause me, and then when you've got 2 words that end with ly, and not just random words that end in ly, like butterfly is not going to be one of your words that has a suffix ly. That just has ly at the end. You have to think, which one has a suffix? Look, here's another typo right here. It's full of them today. This should say suffix. But once you've thought of those 2 words, go ahead and unpause me, and then you can check yourself. Now remember that my words will probably be different from yours. I'm not in your head, and it's okay if your words are different, but I would definitely check with a parent and make sure that the words you wrote use the suffix ly correctly. So go ahead and pause. All right, so hopefully at this point you've written your 2 words. My 2 words, I have likely. So if something is likely to happen, that means it has some pretty good chances of happening. And I probably should have thought about this beforehand. I didn't actually think of another word. Let's go with smelly. So that would be the way that it smells. And here, I wouldn't add another L. This is one of those trick words. It wouldn't look right if I had the word smell and then added another ly. Look at that. That is way too many. So in this case, it just shares that L. Next time I'll think ahead and I'll come up with some better words. But that's your daily reading ready for today. Now, your next thing was spider synonyms. All right, so on the back of this one, it says a spot for your name. So of course we put our first and last name. You can put your number if you want to. Spider synonyms. So synonyms are words that mean the same thing. And if you don't remember our song, which would make me so sad, but here it is. So remember, we go synonym, synonym, same, same, same. Antonym, antonym, opposite. So synonyms mean the same thing. For example, the words happy and glad are synonyms. So we're going to color in the spiders that do contain words that are synonyms. So if it's an antonym, you're not going to color it. If it is a synonym, you are going to color it. Let me get my crayons out here. We're going to have some pink spiders today. So, big and large. This is probably going to be a fairly easy review for you. I hope so. That's kind of the point of what we did in your packets, guys, is that we're trying to make things that you've already been taught, you've already learned, so that hopefully it's just a good review for you. So, big and large. Do those two words mean the same thing? Okay, then we're going to color it. Laugh and giggle. One trick is to go ahead and use those words in a sentence if you're unsure. So if I said, my dog makes me laugh, my dog makes me giggle, do those sentences mean the same thing? If so, then you can go ahead and color it, because those are synonyms. Hard and soft. Okay, this desk is very hard. This desk is very soft. No, it is actually not very soft, so that is not going to be a pair of synonyms. Afraid and scared. I am too afraid to watch that movie. I am too scared to watch that movie. Yes, those are the same. Cry and weep. I have never seen Jordan cry. I have never seen Jordan weep. It's actually true. And those are synonyms. They mean the same thing. Small and little. Oh, you shouldn't be afraid. It's just a small spider. Oh, you shouldn't be afraid. It's just a little spider. Yeah, those are the same. But we all know I am probably still going to be afraid even if it is small. Because spiders are gross. Empty and full. Guys, that one is probably not super hard. Empty and full. If I have an empty glass, I'm going to be very sad. Because I wanted a full glass of Dr. Pepper. Stone and rock. I tripped over the stone on the playground. I tripped over the rock on the playground. That is pretty likely for me. They are synonyms. Asleep and awake. Yeah, no. Those are antonyms. Speak and talk. Please don't speak when I am speaking. Please don't talk when I am talking. Yep, those mean the same thing. They're synonyms. Short and tall. My dad is tall, my mom is short. Those are not the same. They are antonyms. Smile and grin. I hope that you had a reason to smile today. I hope that you had a reason to grin today. Yes, those are the same. All right, so there's your reading page. And that's everything for reading for today. Okay, next on your list is writing. There's a journal prompt. It says, think about a challenge you have faced in your life. How did you overcome that challenge? How did the experience affect you? What did you learn from it? Use the lined journal paper included. Work on this prompt throughout the week. Don't forget to proofread your writing. All right, so on this one, you should have a journal page. Looks like this. And it's got a spot for the date. So if you're doing yours today, the date is going to be 3/24/2020. But not everybody has the same schedules throughout all this mess. Not everybody's going to be doing everything on the same day, and that is completely fine. So if you're doing this on a different day after me, that is completely fine. Just go ahead and put the date of the day that you're doing it. So when we're having a prompt like this that has several different things in it, we need to make sure that we're actually answering everything in the prompt. Okay, so first thing, think about a challenge you have faced in your life. So if I'm thinking about a challenge I faced in my life, I also need to think about, can I write a lot about this? If it's just something that's going to be one little line or a couple of lines, it's probably not a very good prompt to be writing about. I need to think, can I talk about how I overcame that challenge? To overcome something means how did you get past it? How did the experience affect you? What that means is what did it make you learn? How did it change you as a person? And what did you learn from it? So what do you know now because you went through that? So think about a challenge you faced in your life. How did you overcome that challenge? Let's see. A challenge I have faced in my life would be, so that's how I'm going to start it. One challenge I have faced in my life is, and you guys know I always pick a topic that you guys can't write about so you can't copy me. So one challenge I have faced in my life is becoming a good driver. So this would be one of those times in class that I would stop and tell you guys a funny story about this. So one thing that you guys should know about me is that I am a decent driver, but I have a bad habit of misjudging how far away things are from me. And I have hit several things in my driving career, and almost all of them have been objects that were completely still. Like I should have been able to just look up and see them and not hit them. But of course, being me, it's not that easy. I guess you could call that clumsy driving. I don't really know. I definitely just need to pay more attention. So that is my one challenge. So it says, how did you overcome that challenge? How did the experience affect you, and what did I learn from it? All right, so becoming a good driver. I overcame this challenge by learning where my blind spots are. So a blind spot in your car is somewhere where the back of your car kind of blocks your view and you can't really see around it. And so every car has their own little blind spots. Some are worse than others. So that's been one thing that I had to learn from, was figure out where my blind spots were on my car so that I could make sure that I found a different way to see what's in that spot so I don't hit anything there. So by learning where my blind spots are on my Jeep. I am still working on fully overcoming this challenge. So it's okay if the challenge that you face in your life is something that you're still working on. I have overcome that for the most part, but there are still times when I don't pay as much attention as I should, and I accidentally back into something that I definitely should have seen there. Or a lot of times I just get really close and I'll have to hit my brakes really hard. It's definitely something that I'm still working on, but I have gotten better at it. It says, how did the experience affect you? This has affected me by raising my insurance price, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but whenever you hit somebody or hit something in your car and they say it's your fault, it makes your insurance price go up. You have to pay more every month because your insurance is like, we don't trust you. You're a terrible driver and you're costing us money. So that's definitely one way. It's also left several dents and dings in my car. My car that used to be so perfect and pretty and now looks a little bit beat up. And convincing Jordan not to buy me a new car anytime soon. He says that until I can prove that I'm not going to hit anything else in this car, I can't have a new car. And what did I learn from it? I learned that I need to pay more attention when driving. I don't know if y'all can hear that dog barking outside, but that's Duke. He likes to bark at every single thing that moves. Pay more attention where I'm going while driving. And to look before I move the car. So, you usually in class like to ask me, is this enough writing? Is this enough writing? Do I have to write more? Do I have enough sentences? Guys, these are journal writings, so it's just kind of whatever you prefer to write on here. Now, obviously, is it a good quality writing if you only wrote 2 sentences? No, probably not, because if you answered everything in here, you should have the challenge listed, a sentence about how you overcame it, another one about how it affected you, and another one about how you learned from it. So in this writing, you should have at least 4 sentences. You can definitely have more than that. You can talk about your feelings, you can describe a certain scenario, whatever you want. And if you need more paper and you have more paper at home, go ahead and add that on. But this is your journal writing, so it's not like we're writing a story for a grade or anything like that. This is just a reflective piece of writing. Now on the back it says bonus. Illustrate your thoughts on the back if you'd like. Remember that to illustrate means to draw and color and whatever you prefer to do on the back. Now, I'm not going to take the time on the video to illustrate this. Also because if I drew a picture of me backing into something, I think that Jordan would probably make me hang it up somewhere where I could see it every day, and that would just be pretty embarrassing. So I'm going to skip that part. But your next part of your lesson plans is PE and Brain Boost. It says get 60 minutes of physical activity a day. Break it up and make it fun. So Jordan and I are about to go pick up Jacob and Callie, his younger siblings, and we're going to go to the track in Brownsboro. And we're going to go walk and run a few laps and play some music while we do it. So that's going to be our activity for the day. So your choice board, let me go over that real quick. It says choose an activity from drop everything and read choice board. Now, these are numbered and it says March and April. So whenever you do one of these, you don't have to pick one for like that day. If you don't want to, you can. So like today is the 24th. So if you wanted, you could come down to March 24th and put a check there and just do that activity. But you don't have to go in order. If you decided today that you were just, you just wanted to play a fun game, you could go over here to hide and seek. You could put a little check on March and play hide and seek outside today or inside. So today, I actually did go for a walk around the neighborhood with Zoe. We walked over to the new house. So I'm going to put a check on this one because I have done that one today. So that's my drop and everything and move forward today. For math, it says that you could get on Education Galaxy for 20 minutes. If you didn't get to that, no worries. Do it tomorrow or the next day or whenever. So when you get on Education Galaxy, you are just going to be going to your login and clicking on the purple My Study Plan section and picking anything in math that you want to work on. Next on your lesson plans was Review Quiz 15. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that with you, and I'm going to show all of the work that you need to be showing. Hopefully you do this before I go through it with you. That way you're taking the time to show your work on your own and you're just using me to check yourself. But if you're not confident on that, feel free to work it along with me, just like we would our daily rigor in class. So, got a spot for our name and date at the top. I hope I've been putting the right date on everything. Kind of been a little confused on what day it is since we've been home. So it says use the following table to answer the question below. So we've got grade levels, first, second, third, fourth, quarters collected. So maybe they're having like a coin drive. 125, 236, 178, 257. So it says, what is the best estimate? An estimate means round. Good job. For the total usually means add number of quarters collected. So if I look at my answer choices, I notice that they're rounded to the what? To the hundreds place. Good job. I see those 2 zeros right there. So that means that when I'm estimating up here before I add, that means that I'm going to need to round to the hundreds place in my answer choices. And make sure that you are rounding first. Remember, we round then add. We always round first before we do any other operation. So I've got 125. So if I'm rounding to the hundreds, I'm going to put my box around the hundreds, put my 2 on the porch. Okay, so for parents at home who don't know how to do this, I do have a video on my YouTube if you need some more in-depth explanation of how we use this for rounding. But we've got our 2 on the porch. We always say, is that 5 or more? Nope, it's not 5 or more, so it's going to round down to 100. Our boundary numbers were 100 and 200, so it's rounding down to 100. So we're going to write that out to the side. And then we've got our 2 in this one and a 3 on the porch. So our boundary numbers on this one were 200 and 300. So we've got a 3 on the porch this time. 3 is not 5 or older, so it's going to round to 200. Got a 1 on the porch, a 1 in the box here and a 7 on the porch. So our boundary numbers are 100 and 200. We have a 7 on the porch here, so that's going to round up to 200. And then here for 257, we have a 2 in the box, a 5 on the porch. So 200 and 300 are the boundary numbers, and a 5 is 5 or more. So we round up to 300. Now we're not done because we said we're going to round and then add. So we need to think, what's 100 plus 200? 300. What's 200 plus 300? 500. And if we put all of those together, what should you get? 800. All right, number 2. Which of the following numbers could fit in the box? Got 1,190, 1,078, something, 876. So if I look at these numbers, I need to think, are these getting bigger or smaller? Well, if I look at my hundreds place, even just right here, that got smaller, and this is definitely smaller than these. So this box is going greatest to least. Okay? So I need to make sure that I'm specifically paying attention to the hundreds place here. I need something between 1,000 and 876. So 1,200. Oh, that would go way over here in front of the first number. That can't be it. 756. That would go way over here after the last number. 987. Is that less than 1,000 and more than 800? Yes. 1,345. That would go way over here. So that cannot be our answer. So our answer is C, 987. Number 3, it says the pictograph below shows how many baskets each student made. So we've got each ball means 4 baskets. So how much would half of a ball equal? 2 baskets. Okay, so we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And remember also that you could also think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4. So we've got 4, 8, 12, or 3 times 4. And then we've got 4, 8, or 2 times 4. How many more, you need to think HMM minus, baskets did Paul make than Mel? So we're talking about Paul and Mel. So sorry, Joe, nobody actually cares about you. So sad. So Paul made 20 and Mel made 8. And you remember when we subtract, your bigger number always goes on top. So can you do 0 minus 8? If you have 0 things, can you take away 8 of them? No. So you've got to go next door and borrow, scratch and make it smaller, bring that 10 to my side. So now we've got 10 minus 8. So we should know that fact, but if you don't, remember you can punch and count up. You've got 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 2. And then we've got to bring our 1 down, so 12. So how many more baskets did Paul make than Mel? 12. Number 4, look at the number pattern below. 38, 35, 32, 29, 26. If the pattern continues, what 2 numbers will come next? Well, you've got to look at these and figure out, okay, are they getting bigger or smaller? Well, they're getting smaller, okay, so it's going greatest to least. And now I have to figure out what's changing in these. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be multiplication or division. It's not really a big difference. And it's getting smaller, so if it's getting smaller, we're going to need to subtract. All right, so if we're going 38 to 35, we've got 35, 36, 37, 38. So 3 is the difference. So it's doing subtracting 3 on each one. So what is 26 minus 3? 23. And then you got to take that number figure out your last one. What is 23, whoops, minus 3? 20. And B is the one that matches up with our answer choice. All right, we're going to go to the second page of your quiz. So it says number 5, if Ron spins this spinner, which 2 letters is she equally likely to land on? I really don't know many women named Ron, but we're going to go with it. So let's see, equally likely. So we're looking for, if they take this whole piece and they split it up into different little smaller pieces, what would we probably call that? When you have a piece of a whole, it's going to be called a fraction. So if we're looking at these, let's see what our denominator would be like. Remember, your denominator is down south. So that number is all of the pieces that you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 pieces total. Okay. Now I see that I have an X, Z, Y, and W. So I have 4 different letters. So maybe it would be nice to just go ahead and write all of those different fractions. So each one is going to have the same denominator. It's the same amount out of the whole, or the same number of pieces in the whole. Now we've got to figure out how many each one is. So how many X's do you see? Well, I see 1, 2 X's. So 2/8 are X's. Now for the Y, I see 1. Okay, just 1/8 for the Y. For the W, I see 1, just 1/8 for the W. And for the Z's, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/8. So if it wants to know which one she is equally likely to land on, we're looking for an equivalent fraction. So if I'm looking for that, I can look at these and I can now very easily see that these 2 fractions are equal. So that's Y and W. She has 1/8 of a chance of landing on those. Number 6, Betty gets home from school at the time below. What time does she get home? So all this one's asking you to do, it's not asking you to do any hard math. You're just having to look at the clock and see what time it is. So it's between the 2 and the 3 right now. So it's already past the 2, but it's not quite at the 3 yet. So if that's the case, it's not 3 o'clock yet. It's 2 o'clock. Okay, now you got to look at your minutes. Remember, your longer hand is your minutes. If you ever get confused looking at a clock, remember that each little jump for the minutes counts by what? Right, each jump counts by 5s. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So it's 2:35. Number 7, Freddie has 15 flowers to give to 3 people. If he shares them equally, remember when we hear those words share equally, what should you be thinking that we're doing? Division. Good job. We're going to be making equal groups. So he wants to give those to 3 people. 1, 2, 3. Remember, we usually try to work it out just to make sure we know what we're doing before we ever look at these. So he's got 15 flowers to give to 3 people. So just for fun, how much would each person get? Well, we've got 15 divided by 3. Hopefully you know your facts, so you know this one without even working it out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So how many did each person get? They each got 5. And if we look down here, we can look and see shares them equally. Well, if you're adding, you're not sharing anything. If you're multiplying, you're getting more of something. Well, he put these in groups of less than what he had. Okay, well, less. Ooh, subtracting, right? No, I mean, he's giving them away, but he's giving them into equal groups. That's not going to work. So your right answer is D. Now it says, which of the following measurements would fill a bathtub? Okay, so if we're talking about filling a bathtub, you fill a bathtub with a solid or a liquid? Liquid. You fill it up with water. So if it's a liquid, remember that's a volume and capacity question. Okay, so just like that, we're going to label right here. Okay, if we look at all of these, we've got to make sure, first of all, that all of these are volume and capacity. Answer choices, I see cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. So they are all for volume and capacity, so it's not going to be quite that easy this time. You got to think, if I'm going to fill a bathtub, okay, is that something big or something small? All right, so one thing that I'm going to show you here is, again, we're going to hop on handy little Google, and we're going to type in gallon guy. And we're going to go to Google Images. So if we are looking at the gallon man, okay, if we're looking on here, let me see. All right, so down here we've got cups, pints, quarts, and the guy overall is the big gallon guy, okay? So what it's showing us is that it takes two cups to equal a pint. It takes 2 pints to equal a quart. And it takes 4 quarts to equal the whole gallon guy. So if I wanted a whole gallon full of cups, it'd be like 4, 8, 12. It takes 16 cups to make a gallon. If I wanted pints, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pints to make up the whole gallon man. And then it would take 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts to make up this whole 1 gallon. So if I'm going to fill up a bathtub, then I need to think, is that something big or small? Well, that's pretty big. Are you going to want to scoop water into a bathtub using a tiny little cup? You're going to fill up the whole bathtub with a cup. Yeah, no, probably not. A pint's only a little bit bigger. It's like the small thing of ice cream. Are you going to use a small little thing of ice cream to fill up your tub? No. A quart is not even that much bigger than that. I mean, we're getting a little bit better, but it's still not big enough. You're going to want to use a gallon. Like, think of a big gallon bucket. That's what you're going to want to use to fill up your bathtub. Okay? Now, let's think about that. It says, which of the following would fill a bathtub? Now, usually it's talking about gallons, right? But let's think. Would you have 100 gallons in your bathtub? Yeah, probably not. That's a lot of water. A jug of tea or a jug of milk is a gallon. Are you going to put 100 jugs of tea in your bathtub? No, that's way too much. So sometimes they're going to try to trick you like that. If it just said it like this, your answer would be gallons for sure. But now we have to look at the measurement. 100 gallons is so much. We're not going to use that for one bathtub. 100 little bitty cups? I don't think that's enough. So now we're stuck somewhere in the middle. 100 pints or 100 quarts. Guys, I'm going to be real with you. On your STAR test, they're never going to ask you a question that's this hard about it. Okay? If you were in class and you told me either one of these, I would take either one of those as your answer. Okay? So I don't want you to stress about that. Either one of those could be your answer. All right, number 9. Russ has 12 books. He puts an equal number of books on each of his 2 shelves. Okay, now I know some of you probably just thought, ooh, each, multiply. Okay, but he's taking those 12 books. Is he getting more books from the shelves? No, he's putting them onto each shelf. He's giving each shelf an equal number of books. So what's it actually telling us to do when it says each? It's actually saying to divide. He's not getting more books. He's going to split those up. So if he has 12 books, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, how many books are on each shelf? Well, we've got 6 books on each shelf. 6 and 6. A school bus has 10 seats. There are 3 students sitting in each seat. Little bug. So, let's think about that. A school bus has 10 seats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we've got 10 seats. There are 3 students sitting at each seat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's the same as 10 times 3 because it said each. Now, 5 students get off of the bus. If those students are getting off of the bus, what are they doing? We're subtracting. They're leaving. So 5 of those students are going to get off the bus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we can also think 30 minus 5. Okay, we have to go next door and borrow, scratch and make it smaller, bring that 10 to my side. So what is 10 minus 5? 5. And you got to bring down your 2. So there are 25 students left on the bus. And if you needed to go back and recount these, you could do that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25. All right, so that's your math quiz. Your next thing on math says complete 2 squares on your choice board. Now, obviously, I'm not going to know which 2 squares you chose, and everybody's is going to look a little bit different. So I'm going to just go ahead and assume that you can go over this with a parent. You're supposed to pick 2 squares for today just to do on a piece of paper or whatever you have to work with. Then it also says that you're going to practice your addition, subtraction, and multiplication cards for 5 minutes each. It says for your information, this is for science, for your information, BrainPop Junior is free and lots of fun. We will be using it throughout our remote learning time. This is also available as a free app on a phone or tablet if that's easier. So one thing that I was going to show you is how to log on to BrainPop. Okay, so if we go to BrainPop Junior, we just type it in on Google. Make sure you guys can see this. Then it comes up, we can just click. Now, BrainPop is not always free, but look here at the top. It says, we're here to help in the event of a school closure. So you're going to click Request Free Access. It says, make any room a classroom. Okay, so you're going to scroll down to where it says Free Family Access. You're going to click that. And then you're going to have a parent help you fill out all of this information. And then you're going to want to write down your login information somewhere. And it should send you an email to log in with. And so you're going to want to do that because we are going to be providing some activities for you guys to do on BrainPop. But if you don't have internet, please do not worry. We are going to be providing some things for those of you who don't have access to the internet. So it's not a deal breaker if you don't have access to that. It also says for social studies, art, and music, you're going to clap the rhythm of our cities and state 5 times. So Brownsboro, Texas, and Chandler, Texas. So Brownsboro, Texas, and Chandler, Texas. I hope I did that right, Miss Morris. That's what I would have taken from that. Language acquisition. These activities you can do in English or the language spoken at home. So if your family speaks a language other than English at home, feel free to do this in that language, or you can do it in English if that's what you're more comfortable with. It says do an act of kindness by saying something positive to someone else. So if I was going to say something positive to Jordan today, what could I say to him? I could say, I love how hardworking you are in making our new house come together. If he was going to say something positive to me, I don't know what he would say because he did all of the cleaning today. It also says if you have access to the internet, you may also get on imaginelearning.com. So it says the site code, it lists that on the lesson plan. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like to try to log on a phone. So I've Googled Imagine Learning. I'm just going to click what comes up. Wait for it to load. Maybe your internet's faster than mine. Mine's pretty slow. All right. So once this comes up, I'm going to click the little menu option in the top right-hand corner, maybe. Someday, hopefully. There we go. All right, so I'm going to click Log In. And I'm going to scroll down to Imagine Language and Literacy. You'll probably recognize our little robot guy from the computers at school. Sorry if you can hear me breathing into the camera. That's super awkward. All right, so students, you guys all already have your login. If you don't know it, I am going to be sending that through Remind. so that you guys can have access to that. So I think most of you, it's your lunch number here and your lunch number here, but I know some of you may not know that, so I'll make sure to send that. And your site code, it's on your lesson plans. It is 4811640. And then once you've got that typed in with your lunch number in both spots, you can hit log in. We don't have a QR code, so ignore that part. Okay, so you guys can do this part, hit log in, and then you can do your normal Imagine Learning activities. And I think it'll let you go for 20 minutes. That's optional. You don't have to do that. And the last thing on your lesson plan for today is wellness and self-care. It says take 1 minute to list 3 things that you are grateful for. Now, you can just say these to someone, or you can write them down. It says you can be grateful for big things like having supportive parents, or small things like being able to say hi to your friend before class started. It says gratitude is the ability to recognize and acknowledge the good things, people, and places in our lives. So if I was going to write down the 3 things that I am thankful for today, my 3 things would be good health, the outdoors, and comfy yoga pants. So I'm thankful that I've been able to stay healthy so far through all this. I hope you guys are able to do the same. I'm thankful for the outdoors because sometimes you just need to be able to get outside and get some fresh air and look at all those awesome things that God made for us to enjoy. And then I definitely am thankful for my comfy yoga pants because y'all know I don't get to wear those to work all the time. And it's been kind of nice getting to wear those. So I'm definitely thankful for that today. So let me know what 3 things you're thankful for. I hope this video was super helpful. If you made it through the whole thing, congratulations. I can't believe you stuck with me that long, but it's kind of awesome because usually at school that would have taken us a lot longer. And that was all of your stuff for today in under an hour. So I hope that you guys are enjoying your extra time at home with your family. Hope you're taking some time to do some things that you love and get outside and play some games and all that. I don't want you to take these packets as something that should be stressful. It's not meant to be that. It's just meant to give you a little bit of the things that you're used to at school. So hopefully that helps, but I definitely don't want you freaking out if you had a day when you just didn't get to it. I mean, really, you can get to it the next day. It's the same thing that we say in class. If you didn't get it finished, put it in your unfinished work folder and finish it later. Plus side is, nobody's going to have study hall for the next 2 weeks. All right. Love you guys. Miss you a ton. Let me know if you need any help. Bye.